Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really critical question, one that pretty much any business using AI has to ask itself. Should you go with the closed, proprietary model, or should you jump into the world of open source? Let's break it down.
You know, for the last couple of years, it feels like we've all been wowed by these incredible AI magic tricks, right? These stunning images and videos that just blow up online, but were also wildly expensive to create. Well, that novelty bubble, it's officially popped. The industry is now having to face reality and move past just cool demos to building tools that are actually, economically sustainable.
And there is no better example of this than OpenAI's video generator, Sora. The business reality was just stark. Daily costs to keep the service running shot up to a staggering $15 million, while its entire lifetime revenue was just a little over $2 million. The result? It got shut down after only 6 months. I mean, the math's just didn't add up.
And, this kind of intense economic pressure is really what's fueling the rise of open source AI. It's not just a cheaper option for hobbyists anymore. It's become a genuine strategic imperative for businesses that are looking for control, flexibility, and a cost structure they can actually live with.
Okay, but here's where things get interesting. It's a bit of a puzzle, really. Despite all the buzz and all the advantages of open source, proprietary, closed models from the big players, your OpenAIs, your Googles, they still absolutely dominate the market. We're talking about roughly 80% of all AI model usage.
So you got to ask, right? If open source is this amazing answer, why is there such a massive gap? What is the real story behind this divide between the two ecosystems?
All right, to really get to the bottom of that, let's start with the good stuff. Let's look at the powerful strategic advantages that are making so many companies take a serious look at open source.
When you really boil it down, the appeal of open source comes down to two big things: control and flexibility. You get complete ownership of your code and, this is crucial, your data. You can hyper-customize models for your exact business needs, and you avoid that dreaded vendor lock-in, where you're basically trapped in one company's ecosystem, totally subject to their pricing and their roadmap.
And get this, the money part? It is absolutely staggering. Research from MIT Sloan suggests that if businesses simply routed their AI tasks to the right model for the job, this strategic shift towards open source could save the global AI economy about $25 billion annually.
Yeah, just look at this long-term comparison. On the open source side, you completely wipe out those licensing fees and get unlimited scalability. But with proprietary models, you can get stuck with per-user fees and really limited flexibility. That's why an open source approach can lead to long-term savings of 30, even 40%.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? It's not quite that simple. We really need to do a reality check here, because there are some pretty significant hidden costs we have to talk about. Which brings us to probably the biggest misconception out there when business leaders hear about open source AI. Is it actually free?
The answer? A big, fat, emphatic no. Look, the model weights themselves might be free to download, but actually getting them to run reliably in a real-world production environment, that's a huge investment. It's all about trade-offs.
See, instead of just paying those nice, predictable API fees to a vendor, you're trading that expense for a whole bunch of internal costs. You need a team of skilled engineers, you've got to buy or rent incredibly expensive GPU hardware, and suddenly you, not the vendor, are on the hook for all the security, compliance, and wading through these really complex software licenses. And this right here really highlights that security trade-off perfectly. Yeah, with open source, the code is out there for everyone to see and audit. And when a vulnerability is found, the community can patch it like that, super fast. But the flip side, and it's a big one, is that you are the one responsible for managing that security. With a proprietary model, you're basically handing over that control and, let's be honest, your data to the vendor.
Okay, so this all feels pretty complex, doesn't it? How on earth are you supposed to navigate all this and make the right call for your business?
Well, the key thing to realize is that this isn't just a simple yes or no, an A or B choice. It's really more of a spectrum with three main options. You can stick with a simple proprietary API, you can self-host an open source model for total control, or you can pick that flexible middle ground using a hosted open source API, which gives you that model flexibility without the hardware headache. And this breakdown here is super helpful for figuring out which path is right for you. If you're a small team doing really complex stuff, a proprietary API probably makes the most sense. But if you're dealing with massive volumes of sensitive data, yeah, self-hosting is likely your answer.
And for a whole lot of businesses right in the middle, a hosted open source solution can be that perfect sweet spot. It all comes down to your workload, how sensitive your data is, and what your team can handle.
So where is all of this heading? What's the end game here? Well, it's all building towards what should be the ultimate strategic goal for any company using AI today.
And this is so important. Long-term success in AI isn't about picking one winner today and betting the farm on them. It's not about loyalty to one company's roadmap. No, it's about building what's called a vendor-neutral architecture. Think of it like a flexible system that lets you easily swap different models in and out, which means you can always route every single task to the absolute best, most efficient tool for that specific job, whether it happens to be proprietary or open source. That is the winning strategy. And that leaves us with one final, and I think pretty provocative question. It's something every single business leader should be asking their tech teams right now. Are you building your systems based on loyalty to a single vendor, or are you building for the flexibility to always use the best tool for the job? Because honestly, the answer to that question is going to define your future.